Hello, I'm Eric Reese. We're here today to practice the Chinese art of Tai Chi Chuan, a martial art of exercise, meditation, and self-defense. We, Senior Resources of Guilford, and myself encourage you to work at a safe level. If you start straining or go into the pain zone, you've already overdone it. So pull back, work at 70% only, and your safety is up to you. We don't take responsibility for that. Okay, so let's all have fun together. Let's start with clasping the fingers and loosening the wrists. And whatever exercise we begin with, we want to start to kind of settle into the body, into the mind, relax the mind, and start our deep diaphragmatic breathing. So we already are thinking about the meditative side of practice. Let's reverse direction, loosening the wrists. And relax it. Okay. Let's do one of our key basic exercises, which is the prayer wheel exercise. When I first learned this, which was right at the beginning of my training, I felt like it was a very good exercise to learn how to meditate while we're moving. So this is what differentiates Tai Chi meditation from many other styles, is that we're learning to meditate while we're in motion. Step forward with your left foot. I'll mirror you here. The palms are facing. The fingers are forward, shifting back and forth. Now really, you can coordinate the breathing any way that feels natural to you, but if you'd like to try exhaling when you go forward, inhaling when you go back, what we do in Tai Chi is we lengthen the breathing. In the beginning, it's hard to breathe long and slow. Exhale. Inhale. If that's too much to think about, just allow yourself to breathe naturally, but slow down the breathing. Breathe a little deeper. And remember also that we are already doing martial arts, that this movement can be very effective against an attack. I can't really show you those things because I don't have a partner here, but you can start to imagine an opponent right in front of you. You could be grabbing them and pulling them towards you or off to the side. You could be pushing forward. Every movement, when it's sped up, you can see fighting applications. Let's change sides. So we're practicing our two primary stances. When we're back, it's called the back stance, easy to remember. And when we're forward, it's called the bow stance. A lot of times in Tai Chi and other martial arts, we think of the bow and the arrow. So this is the bow stance, as in archery. Sometimes they call it the bow and arrow stance. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and do another one. Let's do two hands reach for the heavens. And this is one of the exercises that boosts our immune system. So now that it's flu season, and of course we're dealing with other things, it's always good to boost immunity. Let's push up with the palms, reach out and stretch, lift the heels, and come down slowly. Again, once you get the attitude of the movement, then focus on breathing. Also see if you're feeling yourself begin to relax mentally, and we call that meditation. The mind relaxes throughout our practice. If we practice for a half hour, we want to say we're meditating for a half an hour. Now notice I'm not looking at the ground, I'm looking upward a little bit here. But I don't want to look at the ground when I come down with the hands. So we don't want to bow like that. We can look upward a little bit and then forward, looking forward. And relax. Let's do another one that's really good for health. It's another one of the set of 8 exercises called the 8 pieces of brocade. And this is number 8. We just did number 1. Let's do number 8, raising the heels. So when we lift the heels, we're also flexing back at the wrists, going up and down. They say this one prevents 10,000 diseases. Again, looking forward, looking straight ahead. Also, whatever you're looking at, relax the gaze a little bit. If you focus too sharply, you might be straining the eyes. Also, it occupies your mind a little bit too much. So you let the eyes relax more. Maybe a little softer focus. And then we're not so emotionally involved with what we're seeing. And pushing down with the balls of the feet to lift up. So a lot of times we think, well, I need to go up, but we don't feel the down of the up movement. So I want you to think of pushing down with the feet to lift the body. Now we have yin and yang in balance. When I go down with the feet, I go up with the body, and then relax and go down. Pushing down with the feet. And relax. So we're massaging an important part of the body here, and it's called the bubbling well point. It's on the bottom of the foot, near the ball of the foot, and basically in the center of the foot. So if this is the ball of my foot, then the bubbling well point is here, a little bit toward the heel. Now this is a very important point in the body, an acupuncture point. And it's the way that our body communicates with the energy of the earth. So when we're massaging these points, we help the points open up and we have better communication. So we learn to draw energy from the earth. We can also sink energy down and root into the earth energetically. And we're using that point. So when we rub it, when we massage it, when we shift the weight over it, we're massaging it. When we walk, just regular walking is massaging that point. It helps it open up, and we're able to get more energy from the environment. A lot of people feel energy depleted, but the point is there's chi all around us all the time. If we learn how to accept it into the body, we can always have all the energy that we need. Okay, so there's a corresponding point on the palm called the laogong point. And to help it open up, we can simply massage it with the thumb. This can become a healthy habit. When you're just standing around doing nothing, you can rub the palm a little bit right here. And you're making a little circle, so you make sure that you actually hit that point. And you rub until it gets warm. And then we can do the other side. Gently rubbing the palm, helping the laogong point open up. Now this is also a very important point, how we transmit chi to the environment, or in fighting, we actually transmit energy to the opponent. How we receive chi into the body through the hands. So we receive chi through the feet, through the hands, and numerous other places on the body. but the hands and feet are two of the key places. Okay, so we warm them up. Let's go ahead and do our knee rotations. We're going to do the gentle version here with the hands above the knees, not on the knees, and 9 gentle circles. Notice I'm looking forward, not down. Look what happens to my posture when I look down. When I bend the neck like that, it actually blocks the flow of chi. It's blocking in the neck. Now think of the spine. We want the chi to go up the spine, and where does it go to? The brain. So if I'm always kinking the garden hose, no water can come out the end. If I'm always kinking my neck or my spine through poor posture, I don't get enough energy to the brain. So we want this flow of energy coming up the back, going to the brain, and then we keep the tongue connected to the roof of the mouth. Inside the mouth, the tip of the tongue gently presses into the palate, slightly behind the top front teeth. That makes a little bridge, a little connection. Now when the chi gets up to my head, it can come across the tongue and go down the front of the body. And it makes an orbit around the body, up the spine, to the brain, down the front of the body, and around the torso, the bottom of the torso. And along that path, which is a kind of orbit of energy, we call it the microcosmic orbit. Oh, now we're getting kind of fancy, right? Well, along that path are many other acupuncture points that are getting stimulated by chi. And so this is a key reason we always have the tongue connected to the upper palate so the chi can flow in this orbit. So the chi channel opens up, the orbit starts to happen, and we achieve abundant health from doing that. Okay, so I might have gotten a little sidetracked there. Did we do our knee rotations? I think we did. We did them both ways. My wonderful camera lady is nodding her head, so she's keeping me on track. All right, so that's a lot of detail, but we need to know why we do things and the purpose. That helps us achieve the result even better. So we're opening up the body to energy. So a lot of people, when they start practicing Tai Chi, they had the complaint, low energy. Now with Tai Chi, they get more energy. We need energy to enjoy our lives. Okay, so we're going to start now with Tai Chi form. And one of the key postures is called grasp bird's tail to the left. Now I'm going to do it facing the camera. I'm going to put my foot forward, so you're going to actually step out with the left foot toward the corner. Now notice when we go forward and back, we're practicing the back stance again and the bow stance. Back stance, bow stance. We don't want to shift more than 70% of our weight. So 70% in the back leg, 30% in the front, back stance. 70% in the front leg, 30% in the back leg, bow stance. And you can see the front leg looks like a bow from archery. So back stance, hold an imaginary beach ball. In this case, your right hand's on top, holding a ball. Now when you go forward, let the palms pass each other without touching. Aha, this gives us an opportunity to see if we feel energy when the hands are close together. So we help open up the laogong points with massage, with other movement that we do in our practice. And now when the palms are closed, can you feel something? You might feel warmth. Heat is energy, right? You might feel the heat from one hand passing the other. You might feel tingling or some other sensations. So we have a big shape here. It's a little bit harder to feel it when the hands are far apart. But now listen for it here. And then extend the left arm in front of the body. So it's a kind of a shield protecting your chest from a punch or other attack. So remember, we're doing martial arts. So we come back and hold an imaginary ball. Go forward. Let the palms pass close without letting them touch. And this is called grasp bird's tail to the left. Now we can do it for a few minutes. We're building strength in the legs. We're learning how to meditate. We're also learning how to overcome our tendency toward boredom. People are very easily bored. But when you start to feel energy, when you start to feel your body as you use it, you start to get the benefits of practice. No boredom. So the mind becomes more disciplined. So you do it in the beginning, maybe 10 times, and you want to get this sense of flow, like we're moving in water. So if you're in a swimming pool, what would it feel like to do this movement? Very relaxed, but there is resistance from the water. That becomes your exercise equipment, that imaginary resistance. And notice the hands become a little more graceful. It's like you really are moving in water, the wrists are relaxed. This is one of the key martial arts movements, in my opinion. Grasp bird's tail to the left. Now I'm going to step back in and do it on the other side to kind of balance out. Step toward the corner with your right foot. Grasp bird's tail toward the right. Now again, if you want to coordinate the breathing, you can exhale when you go forward and inhale when you shift back. And we're going slow, so the breathing is slow. I want you to imagine an opponent. Where are they? Well, your front foot is pointing right at them, so you know where they are. And at the end of the posture, you're blocking a punch from that person. Oh, now we're engaging our imagination, training our creativity, our mind. Grasp bird's tail toward the right. Okay, good. And now I'm going to turn and I'm going to do a push. In this case, your left foot is forward, come up. Imagine a big ball in front of you, like the size of a beach ball again. Now you're feeling around the ball and moving to the back of the ball. Now push it away. Feel around the ball. Move to the back of the ball. Push it away. Feel along the ball. Push. Now follow me here. Turn the foot toward the front of the room. Block a punch from over there. Scoop, as if they went to kick and you scooped up their leg. Bring the other foot in next to the other foot, shoulder width apart, and this is called cross hands. Now we're going to turn and push. Other side, your right foot's forward. We're mirroring each other, feeling around the big beach ball. Push. Now we're going to massage the laogong points some more. So watch what happens in the palms. I'll just put one up here. When I push, I'm imagining opening here. When I go around the ball, I relax here. Now look at that action of stretching and relaxing. Stretch, relax. That stretch and relax is a massage. Again, we're massaging the laogong points. And it's spelled L-A-O. Another word is G-O-N-G, laogong. So we'll do 2 more pushes. Relax the hands, shift back, and go forward. Open the hands a little bit. Not too much, so this is a subtle practice. Relax the hands. And push. Now turn the right foot and block a punch from over there. Scoop. Maybe somebody's kicking or punching low and you scoop them up. You lift the foot and set it down, shoulder width apart, toes facing forward, cross hands. Let's turn and step again. 2-hand push. 3 times push. Very important weapon in martial arts. People underestimate the power of a good push. Push. Turn and block. This whole thing is called cross hands. And scooping. You don't need to go very low. Cross hands. Let's turn and step. Your right foot's forward. Push. Practicing our 2 stances. Back stance, 70-30 weight distribution. Bow stance, 70-30 weight distribution. Turn and block. Scoop. And your feet are shoulder width and parallel, toes pointing straight ahead. And we'll close it. Now, since we worked on Qi today, let's look at that last movement. First, in cross hands, our arms are touching. We're creating a shield in front of our chest. In fact, when we do cross hands, we could say block, scoop, protect, protect. Now, the closing movement, the arms aren't touching here. They're not touching, but we pass the laogong points close together, again, without letting them touch. We want to see if we feel the Qi there. So we're in cross hands, protect. Now slowly listen for the energy. You can listen. Are you listening with your ears? No, you're listening with your Qi. Okay, you're sensing, you're feeling. Listen for the Qi right there. Now, let's just do that a couple times. This becomes like we're magnetizing a nail. You know, if you have a magnet and you rub a nail against the magnet, pretty soon the nail becomes magnetized. Now the nail can pick up another nail. You've transmitted energy from the magnet to the nail. So now you do this back and forth, and it will build the energy so you can feel it. And if you don't feel it today, you don't want to be disappointed. Practice every day. Well, then when you feel it, keep on practicing so we don't lose it again. And you're just going to be very meditative. That means you don't care if you feel it or not. Feeling the Qi it's just a signpost. But that's not your destination. It's just letting you know you're on the right path. You know, like when you're on the highway, you see a sign that tells you what highway you are, but hopefully you already know. And you see the signs all the way to your destination. But every time you see a sign, you don't stop, right? You keep going. So now we're magnetizing the nail. We want to see if we're building Qi. We do it for a minute. Then we close. Some of you might have felt it, maybe for the very first time in your life, and you're saying, wow, that's pretty cool, right? Let's do it again. Now I'm crossing the arms with the other hand in front, just for variety. And now we do closing, but I'm going to let the hands pass this way. Now, since it's a point that has a field of Qi around it, really I could have the back of the hands. I could still feel the Qi like this. All different ways. But in this posture, we have it looking like this. And we want to see if we can cultivate a feeling of energy. Because most people get kind of excited when they start to feel the Qi. and then close it. Okay, so did Qi suddenly appear because we're doing Tai Chi? Probably not. What are we dealing with here? We're improving our sensitivity. When we improve our sensitivity, it's like an old radio. You had a tuner, and you might have had a very distant station. I used to have a shortwave radio when I was in high school. I built it from a kit. And I could get England, and I could get China, and I could get Australia. It was really exciting. I had a big antenna hanging in my backyard, strung between two trees, and it was amazing. But you had to fine-tune the dial in order to pick up distant stations. If you were just off a little bit, you couldn't hear it. So what we're doing here is we're learning to become more sensitive, like a shortwave radio, and we can pick up distant information. And we're going to call that information Qi, for lack of a better word. We'll just say energy. Energy has wisdom, energy has intelligence. We can learn from the energy. So we want to practice and pick up the wisdom contained in energy. Everything around us has wisdom. The rock, the earth, the sky, the tree, the animals, other people. Occasionally, other people also have wisdom. Okay, so we learn how to practice and sensitize to the energy around us, and life becomes more exciting. We really feel it, okay? We feel our life force. Now, let's go ahead and do another one. Okay, let's say I'm going to use the chair this time. Okay, only do this if you feel safe. If you can't do it standing up right now, have another chair and sit down in that chair. So I'm going to put my foot on the chair, and I want to see if I can let my fingers do the walking. Remember the old Yellow Pages commercial? Let the fingers do the walking, and I want to reach toward my toes, and if I can take hold of my foot, I'll pull the toes back a little. If I can't reach my foot, I'll pull the toes back anyway, and I feel the stretch on the back of the legs. And I'm going to reach for here, and maybe get to my toes without using force. And breathe. Now, I'm not always looking right at my foot. Sometimes I look beyond my foot. I create an imaginary point about 6 inches past my foot. Now my mind intention and even my Qi are going farther past my body. But even now I'm training the Qi in what looks like a basic stretch. This leg is straight if it doesn't hurt the knee. So some people, if they have knee damage, they should keep the knee a little bit bent. Don't overdo it. Remember our precaution at the start of every one of these videos. And then we're going to go ahead and shake it out a little bit. What's that stretch going to do for us? A lot of things, but one thing it's going to do is help us do better kicks. Okay, that way over time the kicks will go higher instead of lower. So let the fingers do the walking. Pull the toes back towards your hip. Pull and stretch, and you feel it. We all need this so much. If you can, grab a toe. Sometimes I like to put the thumb out there. That's all, kind of a cheat, right? But I'm holding my thumb, and in my mind I say, well, if I can't reach my toe with the other hand today, it's not too far away. I can hold my thumb. Or, ooh, 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 go a little more without exceeding 70%. So we really shouldn't be saying, ooh, 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 right? There we go. And breathe. And we're moving the abdomen. Notice how when we're scrunched over like this, there's not a lot of room to breathe. It's kind of constricted, the space. That breathing is helping the low back open up. So we still want to do abdominal breathing here to help loosen the low back, which is usually very tight on most of us. And then we relax and come up and shake it out. Okay, and that's today's lesson. We didn't do a lot of the form, but we did focus on a lot of other things that help us improve our form and our appreciation of energy and also our motivation to practice. We'll go ahead and close up. We make a fist with the right hand, cover the knuckles with the left, clap at least 3 times.